Few movies have had as immediately understandable a high concept as the upcoming Cocaine Bear. But is the movie actually worth watching outside of the gonzo title? Here's what the critics have to say. It is still early in 2023, but several movies have already left quite the impression on moviegoers, such as Blumhouse's killer doll flick Megan and M. Night Shyamalan's latest thriller Knock at the Cabin. But perhaps the craziest movie of the year is hitting theaters soon, Cocaine Bear. Directed by Elizabeth Banks, the film is actually loosely based on a true story of a bear that, as the title implies, ingested a ton of cocaine. What could possibly go wrong? The movie has an absolutely stacked A-list cast led by the likes of Kerry Russell and Ray Liotta in one of his final performances. As for the specifics of it, the synopsis for the film reads as follows. Inspired by the 1985 true story of a drug runner's plane crash, missing cocaine, and the black bear that ate it, this wild, dark comedy finds an oddball group of cops, criminals, tourists, and teens converging in a Georgia forest where a 500-pound apex predator has ingested a staggering amount of cocaine and gone on a coke-fueled rampage for more blow and blood. Does that intense premise live up to the hype? If the early critical reactions are to be believed, it very much does, and then some.
I think that's a yes.
Overall, critics have been wildly positive, more than perhaps anyone could have expected. SlashFilm's own Rafael Montemayor saw the film and called it the best movie of the year so far. It's thrilling when it works as a slasher movie but with a bear, but it is also a hilariously absurd comedy like only Phil Lord and Chris Miller can do. The cast is incredible. Meanwhile, Fangoria editor-in-chief Phil Nobile Jr. tweeted that there is much more going on in the film than viewers may realize. There is a whole weird world that Cocaine Bear is set in that isn't even hinted at in the trailer. Entirely too much is going on beyond the bear, which in hindsight kind of makes perfect sense. A crazed tableau. I'm happy a character calls the bear Cocaine Bear in the film. Jack Kennedy of Big Time Movies also touted the theatrical experience that comes along with it, saying, "It is my favorite movie of the year, the funniest I have seen in like 2 years and such a blast. Very Lord and Miller. If the theater experience is anything like my screening, you will have an amazing time in the theaters with this."
The bear, it did cocaine. A bear did cocaine.
Similarly, seen on the big screens, Chris Aguilar said, "Cocaine Bear is the best comedy of 2023 so far. Full-tilt, gory zaniness counter-programming we left behind in the 90s come back to life. Kinda wastes its cast, but Margot Martindale is the MVP. The ambulance set piece is an all-timer for horror hounds. So far, it's difficult to find any outright negative response to Banks' latest directorial effort. While there is some talk of a wasted cast and nonsensical happenings, it largely appears as though the movie delivers handily on expectations. MSB of Conversation on Cinema had this to add. Cocaine Bear offers what one expects from it, an absolutely insane bear wreaking gory, bloody havoc while also doing the stupidest things imaginable. A totally nonsensical yet extremely entertaining time where nothing else matters besides the bear who did cocaine." The official social media account for Cocaine Bear also put together a teaser gathering some reactions from social media, with people calling it the greatest movie of all time and one saying to start the Best Picture campaign now.
What the hell?
It seems fair to say that this one delivers on what it is promising. Banks directed from a script by Jimmy Warden, with Phil Lord and Chris Miller on board as producers. Cocaine Bear hits theaters on February 24th.